Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 53, I think, of the Double Cross
Yep.
Anime podcast. I'm Whooper, and I'm joined, as I am every week, by my friend Mario.
Hello.
So we're all caught up. We're not doing any double episodes or anything. We're on track with the spring season. So Fruits Basket
Mhm.
and Mix had their fourth episodes recently. We're going to talk about those, as well as Carole and Tuesday and Sarazanmai, their third
Mhm.
episodes each. Then we're going to
Yep.
do the next batch of four, taking us up to episode 8 of Future Boy Conan.
Mhm.
So let's get started.
All right. Let's
What's
do
first
it.
up?
All right. We just mentioned about the before we get into that, I mentioned Whooper about how this season having like four of the like we really have a solid list out of the four shows, and Whooper seemed to disagree with me on that.
Well, I'm always kind of like picky and like a naysayer. I
Yeah.
think they're fine. I think Sarazanmai is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying Mix, but that show is like personally I really enjoy it. I don't know if it's really succeeding spectacularly on an artistic level. Fruits
Mm-hmm.
Basket is kind of fun, and then Carole and Tuesday I expected more from, but it's all right. I'm enjoying the season so far.
Well, yeah, I think this is only season like this is only four show that we block that I'm basically happy with all of them for now.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
So let's get with the one that you was not as enthusiastic about.
Right.
So let's go with Karen Tuesday.
Okay. This
It
okay, I'm
Yep.
going to skip straight to the washing machine scene. Do you
All
remember the
right.
scene where they're both in the laundromat getting their clothes washed and Tuesday
Yep.
says, "Wow, we're just like these washing machines." And that becomes the basis for a song that they write together.
Yep. And there was a man sitting in the middle who's apparently covered with all this, and he dancing a lot as well.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not get caught up in the drama and the authenticity of a song that compares two girls to washing machines? I just like that
Fair
to be
enough.
honest, that kind of brought the whole episode down for me. I mean,
It
the
really?
song was fine. It was like peppy and upbeat and stuff, but honestly, like some the lyrics, the the boom 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 yeah of the lyrics, that is just like a technique to fill space to stay with the meter. There's not
All
there's
right.
and all the stuff about them being like going round and round like washing machines until they finally met each other and now like their destiny is has been set into motion. I'm just not a fan of this kind of pop lyricism.
All right.
How about you?
Uh, I don't really mind those. I enjoy like the new song every week. We got like new song every single episode now. I
That
do
is it
enjoy that.
really? Wasn't the
Well,
song in
well,
episode 2 just like a polished version of the one from the premiere?
yes, still though it's still pretty good.
Yeah,
So
mean,
like
I guess it was different enough from its original incarnation to feel like a new thing.
yep. So I do like the performance. I still like the visual, even though that the visual doesn't look as polished as the first two episodes.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Where
yeah,
what
yeah.
kind of drop off did you like experience in this episode specifically?
Like 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 if you look at the characters from like from far lens, they look a bit off modeled, just a bit though.
Yeah, well, I mean, I
Uh,
think that's just a general anime problem.
yeah. Well, I agree with that.
Okay, so yeah, not as cleaned up as the first two. Maybe we may
Um,
be settling into what the show is actually going to look like, going forward.
yep. I actually have no problem with that scene, but I have a bit of problem with the scene come late afterward. Like the whole thing happened with the DJ antagonist.
Right.
I think that's a bit too, just sloppy.
What's that? Like, what specifically about it?
All right, the character himself. He
Oh,
just he just the kind of character we love to hate. He have like no multi-dimensional at all.
yeah. Well, I mean, he's voiced by Mamoru Miyano,
All right,
the same
who is that guy?
the same guy who did the producer from Zombieland Saga.
Oh, oh.
So that might put his character into context for you there.
Oh, wow, right.
He's just like,
He basically act the same.
yeah, he's just an idiot, you know. He's
Yep.
totally puffed up and full of himself and oblivious to everybody else. Pretty much, he's living in his
And
own bubble.
and I mean like the way that the show itself showcase him as a character is really ham-fisted. Like the when you first step into his apartment, we see like all the girls surrounding him. Like we have like the security guard, and he's like being a big shot, so he just look down on people. It just all of that so so you know just ham-fisted for me.
Huh, okay. I mean, I thought it was fine because he's supposed to be like a goon, you know. There's nothing particularly subtle about him. So the fact that his life is so flashy and so, I guess, well, it's not ordinary, but it's like to be expected that he would have these security guys and that he would have all these gorgeous women hanging out by the pool, you know, because he's a gigantic musical phenomenon, you know. So
Yep.
the fact that his life does appear the way it would like in a magazine, you know, or in a
Yep.
a big film kind of makes sense. I mean, this episode actually is kind of it's like all about artificiality because Angela as well. If you remember, we get that the
Last week.
37 questions with Angela segment, and you can tell right at the beginning there's a little thing at the bottom, a scroll bar. So someone is watching it on YouTube or some video streaming service, and she's presenting a vision of her life that is not exactly, you know, what she wants it to be because she's still trying to pursue the music career. And then Gus is trying to get something started with these two girls. He's trying to manage them, so they're having to jump through these hoops that they don't necessarily want to go through. So the whole episode kind of has, you know, a little bit of an anti-naturalist feel to it, I think.
Yep. There's something that I some small detail about that world building that I really like those, like the fact that they still use some of the like technology from this time or the knowledge of this time, like they still use Wikipedia.
Yeah,
They still like mention some of the real name band like Bruno Mars, I think.
yeah. Bruno Mars, Justin Bieber,
Yeah,
Motorhead.
Motorhead. So yes, that I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the appearances, like the artist names that I'm most interested in, are the ones on the records that the show uses for its eye catches
Yep.
in the middle. Last week it was, I think, Bruce Springsteen,
Bo- Born to
Born to
Run, is it?
Run. Yeah, and then this week it
Yep.
was James Taylor, Fire and Rain. So I'm almost disappointed that they're putting up these artists' names and songs on screen because like their influence is nowhere to be found.
That's right. That
Neither musically nor in attitude of this series. So I'm like, where? Because I love Bruce Springsteen.
yep,
So
yep, yep.
where's the Bruce Springsteen influence? You know, that's the real
Yep.
question.
I agree with you on that statement. Like I would expect more of like Born to Run, maybe attitude or maybe just like something related to that. Like even the music itself. But we get like none of that. We just have like a scene where these girls run away from whoever want to catch them, and it's not good enough. Want to run,
Yeah.
and that the same happened to this week Fire and Rain as well.
Oh
Because
yeah, I
I
just made that connection.
is it
Yeah,
Fire and Rain?
yeah, because she sets
Oh
the
right,
sheet music on fire and then the sprinklers come on, the rain. Yeah.
come on. All right, because I think the context of Fire and Rain is about grieving. It's about like the song where like the narrator heard about someone die, so they wrote that song. If that's the same song that I'm thinking about.
Is it really? I mean, I can tell you the lyrics of the chorus.
Just
It's
yesterday morning, is that song? All right, have a look. And rain.
yeah, just yesterday morning they let me know that you were gone.
Yep. So that's the one. Yep.
Yeah, but the lyrics are yeah. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. I've seen lonely times when I could not find a friend.
Yeah. So that song is about depression.
Yeah. Well, it's about the fact that he's experienced good times and bad. So fire and
Mhm.
rain. But yes, it does appear to be about, grieving the loss of a friend or a lover.
So yeah, not appropriate at all. Oh yes,
Yeah,
the
but I
fire
mean,
and the rain.
yeah, like each of those songs superficially deal with an event in the episode that they're attached to.
Yep.
But I mean, it probably just comes back to my like lack of appreciation for this sort of music. I'm not against pop music, but I would like to get. Well, I mean, maybe because Erdogan says that I don't even need to listen to your song to know that it's generic. I kind of doubt that that's the way that the show will move. Like the girls will think to themselves, "Wow, we've got it. Let's look back at some classic rock artists and see what we can incorporate." I kind of doubt that's gonna happen, but that'd be cool.
Yeah. So that's that one thing that come to my big complaint about the show so far is that it's all artificial. It's have like little to no deep meaning for now. So I find it enjoyable when I watch it, and it have like all the visual that really great. But if I want to draw something like some deeper meaning about that, I would draw a plank.
Well, I think that is probably by design.
Yep,
They're
accessible.
yeah, it's supposed to be accessible, not just like because it's being made for Netflix and they want to attract a mass audience and stuff, but the girl's journey is like one of pop stardom. They're going to become the stars and the musicians that everyone wants to be. It's
For, yep, from zero to hero.
yeah, and those sorts of stories don't. I mean, there's not a lot of room for. I don't know what it is you're looking for, like social commentary or. I mean, there's some potential for that, I guess, because Tuesday's mom is running for office and
Yep.
all
And
that.
have like a hot boyfriend. I think I take the
Yeah,
guy as her boyfriend.
yeah, good for her. Go girl.
All right. Which come to my biggest complaints right now is that the titular characters, Carol and Tuesday, are not that uh, deep or fresh enough for us to enjoy. Like now, they just basically just hanging out to each other. They
Yeah,
just they just experience things that happen, and we don't know much about their personality. Like what they think, what behind them. They shot up like one person right now.
yeah. Well, we know plenty about their personalities.
Uh,
Carol has a lot of attitude. She doesn't take crap from anybody. And Tuesday is like a klutz, and she's sheltered. She's naive, but she is also very. She has like an optimistic
has a good
outlook.
voice,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
have a good voice.
Well, the one of the things that this episode does, one of its story beats that can contribute to the feeling that we don't know anything about them, is that Gus is kind of stepping in and like moving, like pushing them in different directions. Like he tells them to go to a vocal coach, which is actually just a cult, actually just a
Yeah,
cult
yeah.
leader or something. Um, and then he's like, "Okay, Roddy, set him up with Erdogan." So now that they've rejected that path, they've set off the sprinkler system in his house and hightailed it out of there.
Yep.
Maybe we'll get to see them start to take things into their own hands. Like use social media as a tool to promote themselves and to control their own image.
Yep. All right. Speaking of that, though, I enjoy the Gus and the other guy, Roddy.
Mm-hmm.
who they just a supporting character right now, but they give like they are a good comedic relief, and they moving the plot forward. So I like them
You
for
think
now.
you like them more than the main duo?
Not necessary, but I would expect more from the main duo.
Okay. So I mean, yeah, it could be a matter of expectations. There's also the fact that the show is named after Carole and Tuesday. That's what it's called. So
Yep.
you would expect them to carry the load more than they have been, perhaps.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. You have any other note on that show,
Yes.
Carol Tuesday?
Why did Tuesday burn the sheet music? I mean, he says
Oh yeah.
you might as well burn it. You know, you might as well throw it out with the burnable trash. And so she's like, you know, Carol says, "All right, let's get out of here. This guy obviously is just totally full of himself. He's not going to listen to our song. He doesn't appreciate what we have to offer." And for some reason, Tuesday is like, "No, I'm going to burn it." What was her
Yeah.
idea? Did she want to set off the sprinklers? Was that the
Well,
plan?
she said she lost it.
Yeah. But what I don't understand that at all. Like, unless it was her plan to set off the sprinklers, why would you listen to his like hurtful dismissal of your song, and in the process of quote unquote losing it, do exactly what he told you to do? Like, that doesn't make sense on any level.
Well, maybe it's because of her pride. Well, it didn't make sense to me either. I find that scene to be confusing as well. But maybe it's just her prideful that speak to her at that time. And guess what? That guy Etrigan was impressed by that.
I
So
guess, but I mean,
it worked.
if it were her pride, then she would definitely not burn her own sheet music, which represents her hard work and like part of herself. So if it
Yeah.
had to do with pride, then that would be the opposite of what she did.
Yep.
I mean,
Well,
if it were pride, she would probably like set his shit on fire.
yep. Well, I would prefer she doing that rather than burning her own shit. But
Oh god.
that's the title of the episodes. Come on.
Yeah, I mean that's true. That's true. They got to go with the episode title. They got to make it fit. Even if
All right.
James Taylor's music is never going to appear in this series.
So what is the next episode title? I think they have the title already.
Oh, do they?
Let's.
Oh yeah, let's look at the next one and then predict what's going to happen.
All right, Karen and Tuesday.
Where are you supposed to find this?
Wikipedia.
Oh, okay.
Video kill the radio star.
Video killed the radio star. Yeah.
I don't think I know this song.
Video killed the radio star.
Oh, is it that song?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, radio star.
Well, video killed the radio star. So, I don't know. They'll put up a video of themselves performing, or
No,
we'll get
I
some more.
think they got.
Go ahead.
I think they're gonna meet up some of the radio star. So the guy who do the on the radio shit.
What?
So they meet up the guy who doing the radio and stuff.
I don't
So
have no
that's what
idea
I
what you
think.
mean. Like a new character?
Yeah, new characters.
Okay. Sure. Sounds good to me.
Why not?
I mean, it's going to have to do with video as well. So I mean, my theory is that we're going to get some backstory on the AI kind of taking over. Video, as in
Huh.
like that being the next evolution of music, killed the radio star. It's about, like
All right,
MTV
so
and stuff
I
taking
think
over.
that makes sense, but I think my experience is just don't take on this title very much literally.
We have
because...
to take them literally. In the Born to Run episode, they literally ran away. In the Fire and Rain episode, those two things happened.
All right. So someone will get killed.
What? Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yep. Who's it gonna be?
all right.
Gus.
Yes.
And we won't
Bad
have the
guy.
opening narration anymore.
Bad luck. All right. We can move on to the other show then.
Okay. That took a while. We did that one for a while.
Right.
Let's do Fruits Basket because
All
I
right.
don't have much
Fruit
I don't have
basket.
much to say about this episode.
All right. So this episode introduced a new Chinese zodiac member,
The boar.
which the boy Kagura, which is a girl.
Hmm.
So now we learn that there's like apart from her there are two more girls
Yeah.
in the zodiac, and so they function the same. So they will transform whenever they touch by the opposite sex.
Yeah, there's a delivery guy who accidentally
Yep.
touches her, right? Or something.
Hmm.
They accidentally get in contact. Like she dives at Kyo or something and ends up hitting him, and then Yuki has to step in and like push him backwards and out of the way.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
There's like some madcap moment right at the end of the episode. Yeah, and we also learned that guys and girls, boys and girls from within the Soma clan, do not transform when they touch each other or they embrace whatever.
That's right. I like I initially hoped that the show would move away from the duo Yuki and Kyo in order to focus on another uh Zodiac's members, which was not the case. So I think pretty much for sure now it's Toru, Shoma, and Kyo gonna be the main characters of the whole thing.
Wait, this episode did focus like quite heavily on Kagura.
Well, they still have Shoma and Kyo as like the central characters.
No, Yuki was not his presence was not felt very much in this episode, I thought.
Oh yeah, you. Uh,
It
uh,
was mostly
y-
Kyo and
yep,
Toru
Kagura.
and Kagura. Yeah.
Yep. I think I would expect more of another side character. So I think like the amount of the characters right now is too slow.
Well, we're gonna get
Uh,
more. There's the little blonde girl
yep.
from the hotel.
Yep.
We're gonna see
Mhm,
that.
mhm,
We just took there was no school. The characters didn't go to school in this episode.
mhm.
But they have their
Okay.
backpacks on at the very end. So they're
Yep.
going to go back to school, and perhaps that'll be the cultural festival that we're going to see, which means that the blonde girl is going to come in.
Yep. For Kagura though, she's an alright character.
Yeah.
See, I'm not that fun on like when she will become like a yandere. When she go to that like full mode of like trying to kill her crush. But otherwise, she still have like different side of her, and not only her, we still see like the different side of Kyo in these episodes, when he mentioning about his mentor.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
yeah, so like they still keep trying to fresh out all these new characters, and that what the show pretty good at. And I think they do a pretty good job on Kyo and Kagura. Until though I'm not sure like I can see the link between her characters Kagura and her zodiac uh representation.
I think I can, because boars will, if they're startled or frightened or angered, they'll charge.
Yep, yep.
And
Which she
that's what
does.
she
All
does.
right.
She charges, head first.
Hmm. All right.
But
All right.
Toru even like spells that out literally in the episode. So I thought that was kind of annoying. And remember, because I can't remember the older guy's name. What's the older guy's name in the Soma clan?
All right. He's the dog.
Yeah,
I don't.
we can just call him the dog. The dog, she's going on and on about how Kagura is a perfect fit for the boar, and
Yep.
the dog keeps saying, "Yeah, you don't. It's not a deduction if you've already seen it. You don't get any extra points for making that link now that she's transformed."
That was funny.
Yeah, it
You
was.
can look at her face. Yep.
The boar was really cute. That
That's right.
little anime eyes.
So yeah, I don't mind her as the like the addition to the cast, but however her affection to Kyo can be a bit too much at times.
Yeah, I thought it was a good gag the first time it happened because she appeared to be very demure and
Yeah,
shy.
feminines.
Yeah. But
Yep.
then she goes into beat 'em up mode. So when she did that the first time, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting, especially because Fruits Basket was published so long ago, decades ago,
Mhm.
that it might have been like a fresher concept at that time. So I was like, oh, all right, okay. So she's got this two-sided personality. That's cool, and they're so different, so it'll take audiences aback. But then it happened a
Mhm.
second time, and a third time, and a fourth time in this episode, and I was like, all right, that's enough.
I think for this episode, I can still alright with that. I'm not sure if I'm still fond of like her stitch whenever she meet Kyo because it's gonna take a lot of time and it just get pale every time she does it.
Right. Well, she's probably not going to appear in every episode, so
That's true. So yeah, I think little to say about this episode
yeah,
except from that.
I kind of felt that way
And
too. Yeah.
Kagura's like after a day meeting of Toru, she actually see another side of Toru despite afraid that Kyo gonna fall for Toru as well. And all that same stuff. So like
I mean, he probably
form
already has on some level.
yep, formula wise the show still follow its the same formulas. I think like the best strength of that is the characters.
I
And
guess. I mean, honestly, I like the concept, not just the
yep.
characters themselves, but I like the idea that there's a zodiac. All the members of the Soma clan, they represent a part of the zodiac, and
Mhm.
because aren't certain zodiac aren't certain birth years supposed to be more compatible with others based on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
zodiac?
that's right.
Yes, I
We
mean,
have
so
like the
romance is kind of built into this concept as well, so it makes it feel a little less, silly that
yeah.
eventually they're all going to be like blushing all the time over each other and like crying when things don't work
The
out with the zodiac animal they've like set their sights on. I
all
have to
right.
assume it's eventually going to get to that point.
Yeah, but the only thing was that the cat is not officially in the zodiac.
Right, that just provides a little extra intrigue.
Yeah, that's right. But guess what? Like the Vietnamese zodiac, they have cat instead of rabbit in the
Yeah,
zodiac.
yeah, I think you mentioned that last week. So
Yeah,
this series probably feels totally wrong to you as you're watching.
it feels weird, like
Yeah,
the cat trying
why
to
is the
get
cat
into
the
the zodiac.
outsider?
Yep. Why?
When we meet the rabbit, you're going to be like, I hate that character.
All right.
Oh, I
Uh
guess the last thing we should mention is that she gets a phone call about her grandfather right at the very end,
oh yeah, that's right.
and there's the moment where the wind blows the cap off the table. That might be her
Yeah.
grandpa's hat.
Um
But I think it's probably a mislead, don't you? Like I doubt that he's actually passed away.
I think that's he going to pass away, but
Really?
what your take on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a misdirect. I think it'll
Yep.
give her an opportunity to like reconnect with her grandfather. Perhaps he'll, he doesn't recognize her. He thinks of her as her mother, from what I
Hmm.
recall. Which sometimes happens. Personally, I've had grandparents refer to me as my father's name before. I've experienced that,
Hmm. Oh.
out of confusion. But you know, I think it's just going to give her an opportunity to reconnect with her grandfather, and perhaps he'll say, "Oh, the renovations are done. You can come home now." So this will give her an
Mhm.
opportunity. That might be like the dramatic heart of the next episode is that she's now given an opportunity to go back to her actual family, but she's found this new family, and she decides to stay with them. Doesn't that make everyone feel warm and fuzzy?
All right. I think I'm all right with that.
That's just a guess.
Yep. All
Also,
right.
the cultural festival's coming up soon, but I already
And
mentioned that. I mean, I think that's probably going to happen sooner rather than later because we got to get back to school at some point.
another cultural festival. I I mean like I think we get that like once every single season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm okay with this one. I think.
Yeah.
I really did like the scene at the start of episode 3, which was Kyo like coming up with ridiculous ideas for the festival, and everyone kind of being like, "Oh, Kyo, you rascal! You know, we can't have a martial arts tournament or whatever it is that he wanted." I liked that he had kind of fit into the class as like kind of a clown that everybody thinks is cool, you know. And that's about it.
All right, let's get to the next show.
What's that going to be?
Mix.
All right.
Out of the four show, even though that I pretty love everything about Sarah Mai, I think that the storytelling of Mix is the one that more um in my gene, in my ADN, DNA. Sorry.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
I just like the methodical way that the show telling the story so far. It's a bit slow, but everything was so like the direction was so clear to me.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that of these 4 shows, this one is the least impressive visually. I mean, and
You
perhaps
said the same.
directorially as well. Um,
Uh, mm,
but I think that the very, I'm probably going to say this every week, but it all feels very natural and believable the way that everything plays
yep.
out. You
Yep.
know, when characters are intending to get into conflict with one another, it doesn't,
Yep.
there's no shouting, there's no tears, no fists are being thrown. They just passive aggressively, make sarcastic
Take
comments, and
take the
that's
scene
what
where
people do, in real life.
yep. Well, take the scene where Toma Sojiro it is the main guy is Toma.
Toma is the younger one,
Yep.
yeah, by like 10 seconds
Yep.
or something.
That's right. When he heard about there's another the guy of his class uh want to date Otomi, want to basically just want to contact Otomi, his sister,
Yeah,
so that he wanted to study get a better score than him in order for him to forget about that deal.
right.
And just the scene where he study at night and Otomi just come in and ask him like, what are you doing? And he said like, I'm studying, can you see? And Sims was like, hmm. That's what was saying a lot, because he doing something strange, and
Yeah.
she immediately recognized that.
Right. She knew that
Uh,
something was up, but she didn't know the actual motivation behind his
That
sudden
that's right.
academic interest.
That's right. And Sojiro is the one who knows about everything, and he doesn't need to say a lot about that thing either.
Yeah.
So I just love the whole thing was how is it present.
Yeah, it's fun for sure watching all the characters go about their business with, like
Yep.
one or two secrets being
Yep.
kept from the others. But
And
at the
and
same time, each of them kind of know that something is going on.
that's right. And we the one who as the audience, we the one who need to pick up all the detail, like um like on the bottom line. And I think it's really good. Like I really love the way that the show tried to tell on the story, and all these little story that all build up to the big stories. So this show is just so good.
Yeah, I am enjoying it. You might even be liking it more than I am, which is crazy because
You know,
Mix for me is like when I watch it, I just have like a little smile on my face. Nothing
right.
mind blowing is happening on screen. Nobody's turning into kappas or transforming into a zodiac animal or anything. But I do enjoy watching all the characters go about their day. The extra dimension to the scene between Otomi and Toma, like when she comes
Yep.
into the living room and asks, "What are you doing?"
Yep.
I
Yep.
really love that she comes in intending to get homework help from her older brother.
Yep.
But when she realizes that Soichiro is in the bath, she just leaves. Like, because it's not something that she can ask Toma about. She kind of thinks of him as a simpleton. And it's
Yeah.
only when
That
she
that.
comes back in the second time out of curiosity that she's like, "Oh, you're actually studying." The fact that she has to leave and process that and then re-enter the room is, to me, that's like gold.
Yeah, that's right. And not to mention the fact that we didn't know about Soichiro academic ability until much later on when we know that he scored first in the class.
Right. Yeah, he's number 1 and all the girls love him because he's good looking and he's the catcher on the baseball team.
Yep.
He's like got all of it going on, I guess.
Yep.
And he's also like the strong silent type too.
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, it's not as though Tomo is a loudmouth or anything. He's also pretty reserved, but
Yep.
even he's a little bit more expressive, and even his design reflects that because he has the spikier,
Yep.
hair.
Well, I just hope that they don't go to the direction that I mentioned last week
I mean,
about.
can't you tell from this episode that eventually they're gonna get there. They're gonna take their time, and hopefully ease the audience into it. But they're on their way. It might take
Oh
50
my.
episodes, but
Oh my God! But the thing is, like everything have been planted from way very early. Like when we talk about like the show, the team, the club, number one, what was his name? Nikaido.
yeah,
Uh, we all know that like he going to be like an embarrassment in the future, and they keep slowly building up to that. Like he start to skip practice
oh,
now.
I
He
I
come late for the match,
right. I don't
and
think he's gonna be
yep.
an embarrassment. I think he's sick.
All right, he's sick.
Yeah, that's why he has to leave practice early, and that's why, like, think about it. The qualifying game, like the preliminary finals, which they win, he
Yep.
pitches a complete game. They don't bring in a
Yep.
substitute pitcher, so he
Hmm.
probably overexerted himself.
Hmm. I didn't think about that, but that make a total sense.
That's why he shows up late. And I even think that's why his father is so like celebrates his son's success so like
Hmm.
earnestly, which to everyone else seems like his dad's just he's throwing his influence around and he's being overbearing
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
annoying. But I
Yep.
think that he really loves his son and he wants his son to succeed, even despite whatever medical condition he has. I'm pretty sure, and I mean we
Hmm.
even hear from Soichiro that at practice
Hmm.
before the Tokyo tournament
Yeah.
starts.
Yep. 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 Yep.
He says his pitches were, they were slow and they had no life. They had no life to them. Toma
Yep.
says that's so just like normal then, and Soichiro says no, even worse.
Yep.
So something's going on with him beyond just him being like, the obstacle for the main characters.
The arrogant guy.
Yeah.
I actually think that he has a bit of like a competitive uh trait towards Toma because I think he knows deep down that Toma is a better player than himself.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
But
so that yep.
if he is sick, if that's the
Uh-huh.
case, he doesn't want to admit it, because I'm sure he's had opportunities when people have confronted him or have just, kind of made backhanded remarks about his leaving practice early and, like the speed of his pitches and stuff. He's not a bad pitcher. They've gotten to the Tokyo tournament with him as
Mhm.
the main guy, but he's had opportunities, I'm sure, to make excuses for himself, and he hasn't done it. So yeah, I do think that you're
He
right. He does have a competitive streak.
yeah he just isn't the ace pitcher of the team.
Well, not according to the twins, yeah, or
Yeah,
they're not twins,
that's right.
but not
Yep.
according to the brothers. They very
Hmm.
carefully refer to him as the wearer of the number 1 jersey,
Hmm.
but they won't say ace, even if everyone else will.
That's right. Um, how do you think about the other pitchers. What his name from the opponent team?
Oh,
His name
Nishimura.
is Nishimura. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
he's
think
interesting.
Yep. Do you think he's gonna be like one of the names that we will hear more often of in the future?
Yeah, I mean that's practically guaranteed because he gets one of those little introduction card
Yep.
things. You know, when the
Alright.
screen
Yep.
like splits in half and this is the character's name. You know, he's important.
Yep.
I mean, I would predict that he's gonna end up at Meisei High School with the
Huh.
Tachibanas.
But then again, there will be like two pitchers,
Yeah.
and
Well, I
that
mean,
might not. Alright.
you need relief pitchers. You
Yep.
can't just have somebody throwing perfect games or complete games all the time.
Well, alright. We have two ice pitchers
Right.
in the
Well,
future.
the thing is that like at lower levels, you know, in the MLB and in professional baseball, the pitchers are typically not the best batters.
Yep.
You know, because
Uh-huh.
they're just putting all of their effort into pitching. But in like middle school and high school baseball, oftentimes the pitchers are also the best hitters. You know, they're just like the strongest, most athletic, most developed boys. So it could be that Nishimura is also a great hitter. I don't know. Or perhaps he'll just be a rival in the future as well. You know, whatever high school is a rival to Meisei, he'll show up there. And he might be an
Yep.
obstacle in their trip to the Koshien, you know. Or they'll meet him in the Koshien. I don't know.
Alright. So how you think this match gonna play out?
You know, that's a good question. I don't even remember the status of the match right now.
Alright.
I mean, both teams both teams score a lot of runs because they put in their reserve pitchers to start,
Yep.
which
I
is really
think
dumb.
yeah, I think they're losing by one. I think, or they winning by one. Either way.
Yeah, I think they're winning by one. It's like 5-4.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on the speed at which the story's gonna move forward. Like, are they gonna lose in this first round? I mean, Toma probably thinks so, because Soichiro says multiple times, like, "Oh, we can beat this school if you're pitching, but not without." So if the show's gonna make that prediction out to be, correct, then we know what's gonna happen. But they may advance to the next round, but at the cost of like Nikaido, actually injuring himself or something like that, and then they can't play in the next game, or perhaps they'll win and Nikaido will injure himself, but they'll have to put in another pitcher, and Toma might finally get his chance to shine. Actually, now that I think about it, it'll probably be that if I had to guess.
Well, all right. I think it's still early for Toma himself to shine. So I think that's gonna wait until like way afterward.
Yeah, that
So like
really makes. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I don't think this tournament he gonna be playing at all. I think that's maybe happen in the next one or maybe in the high school.
Yeah. Well, I mean, isn't this the? Oh, they're second year middle schoolers.
Yep.
So
yep,
yeah,
yep.
there would be a third one for them. Damn, how long is this show gonna go?
That's what I was wondering. Like this supposed to be just a prologue, and it take too much time already. But I enjoy everything happening so far.
Yeah, watching this episode, I did get the feeling that I would really love to just marathon this entire thing, which is how I planned
Yep,
to watch
yep.
it originally.
Yep.
But I do like, I did enjoy this episode, but when it was finished, I was like, all right, next. Where's the next one?
Oh. Well, I think that the thing that you think did cross my mind as well. I think this one is just perfect to just binge, to just watch it in one go.
Yeah.
But well, I gonna do that with Cross Game.
Hell yeah. You could also watch Touch instead. Like, you don't necessarily have to go to Cross Game because Touch is thought of as his masterpiece.
100 episode of Touch, no thanks. I'm just going for a 50 episode of Cross Game.
All right. I want to watch Touch. I've been thinking about starting it, but I have so much other stuff to watch and so much other stuff to do with my life that
Yeah.
Yeah, 100
Well,
episodes is a little daunting, but I will get there.
yeah.
Someday.
We can wait until the anime of the decade list come out, and
Oh shit, we could
we
we could do it 10 episodes a week as a classic series.
10 episode week is a bit much, but I'm game for that. I'm game for that.
That would take a while. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure out what's going to replace Future Boy Conan eventually. But before we get to Future Boy Conan, we must discuss.
The All right, the last shows of the week,
Which is
and which is the best as well. Sarazamite.
yeah.
Uh, if I speak like objectively, uh, this is one of my least favorite episodes so far out
Oh
of the three. But
yeah, it's
but
my
not
least favorite too.
but not by a wide margin. So it's very close, and it's still pretty good, and it's still pretty entertaining, and it's beat everything else. Even that we have Mix and Fruits Basket and Carole and Tuesday in the mix.
I mean, for me, Mix is Sarazanmai is still my favorite overall, but I liked
Yep.
Mix number 4 better than I liked Sarazanmai number 3.
All right,
But
all right,
it's cool.
I can see why. Before we start to the detail of this episode of Sarah's and Mind, there's an article about Ikuhara. Apparently, didn't mention anything about butt
Yeah, I
during
saw
his
that.
speech, and I thought that was amazing. That was just so like him. And
Yeah.
and even like someone in his status would do something like that.
Well, I mean,
A sneer attack.
it kind of makes sense that he would do that. I mean, you would have
Yep.
to.
Yep.
What I'm wondering is whether he pitched Enta as being gay,
Huh.
like whether
Huh.
that was also a sneak attack, so to speak.
I have no idea.
Because you don't often. I mean, there's plenty of homoeroticism in anime,
Yep.
but a lot of it is masked or just like taken very lightly. But
Mhm.
he literally says in this episode, I love Kazuki multiple times.
Yep.
So
Mm.
that's very direct, at least for this art form.
Yep.
So I wonder if he
And-
pitched that.
And I actually like that. I actually like how straightforward that Enta expressed himself to Kazuki.
Well, thinks that he's expressing himself to him.
Yep. That's right. This episode focused entirely on Enta, so both about his admiration, his crush to Kazuki, and both a little bit about his relationship to his sister, older sister, which tie up to the whole Kappa zombie thing about the Kishu fish and the kiss. Oh my god.
And also the name of the marriage fraud guy who turned into
Alright.
the Kappa zombie was Kisu as well. So that
That's right.
term, or it's 3 different words, I guess, but that sound, that term was playing like 3 different roles here.
That's right. And it's not subtle at all, but
Yeah,
it just-
subtlety is not. I mean, Mix is subtle. This is
Yep.
This is in your face.
That's right.
But that's cool too, because the creative team has the chops to pull it off.
Yep. And it just make me laugh a lot when you think back on the first episodes, like the zombie, the Kappa zombies was the cabot. The second one was the cat. So I was anticipating like what kind of acid dreams that he gonna put up, and turned out that it's all the girls.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I mean, the
It-
Kappa zombie, the zombie Kappa, whatever, becomes a fish because of the play on his name. I don't think it's for any other reason.
Yep.
But yeah, all the women like flying in the sky, including his sister, I guess, because she
Yep.
loses her
Yep.
memory.
Yep. That's right.
So that means, and did you see how Kisu, the man, his
Yep.
picture like disappeared from
Eh,
all the photos on
Yep.
people's phones. So
And people forget about him as well. So like he just disappeared from existence.
right, yeah. So the Kappa boys are yeah, exactly. They're rewriting reality
Yep.
by their
Yep.
actions, as do the two cops. They also
Yep.
are changing reality by transforming these people and using their desires as a basis for transforming people into Kappa zombies.
So and now we do learn some bit about like why the cops wanting to do that.
Yes, I
So
really
they tried.
appreciated the fact that we got some information about that in this episode. That was
That's
good.
right. Yep. So they try to exact the desire in order to do something we don't know.
But we do know that they're agents of otters, right?
Yep. 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 That's right.
So in Kappa, I didn't look this up because I just watched the episode before we started recording. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I would speculate that Kappa, like the Japanese in Japanese folklore, otters are like the enemies of Kappa.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the story is pitting these cops who are supposed to be otters or are serving the otter kingdom, I think the word kingdom is used.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember this at all? Like
Huh.
when they're in that little what is it, like a
I
gigantic elevator?
Yep.
They get
I
the message from their contact.
I don't recall the kingdom, but if they mention the kingdom, it might have to do with the Prince Cappy.
Well, that was my theory at first, that they were
Mm-hmm.
like part of a different faction of the Kappa kingdom. But now I think that it's like the Otter Kingdom that is like set against the Kappa Kingdom. There's two
All right.
you know
That kind of makes sense as
societies.
well. Mm-hmm.
So perhaps they're even otters in disguise. They like disguise themselves as cops.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think the word kingdom or something along those lines was used. So they're
Mm-hmm.
serving like some government or some society as agents to create and to extract desire and to use it as I don't know, perhaps it's used as like fuel or some sort of resource or currency for whoever it is that they're working for.
Mm-hmm.
So
Um,
there is. I did appreciate that was included, and the wheels are starting to turn. We're probably going to see a
yep.
bigger picture emerge within a few episodes.
Yep. All right. For entitled, although this episode focused entirely on him, I still I still think that he one of the least developing characters out of the three. I think I'm more intrigued by Kazuki and Toi more than Enta. So
I think I would agree. Although for me, it's Kazuki who's the clear standout, and the other two are kind of lacking. But
yep.
at
All
least
right.
those two have like something interesting going on with their sibling.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. Yep.
Kazuki's relationship with his sister
Hmm.
is the least interesting of the three to me because they're kind of just like lightly antagonizing each other and nothing else is really going on between them.
Yep. And did we learn the fact that Haruka's is that his sisters?
No, Haruka is Kazuki's sister. She's
Is that sister or brother?
it is brother. Yes, it is brother.
Yep. So did we learn the fact that Haruka was disabled before, or we just learned that this week?
We I don't think that Haruka is disabled. I just think that he's sick, which we did
Oh,
learn last
sorry. Yep.
week. Yeah. That's part of the
All right.
reason why Kazuki goes to such lengths to
Yep.
dress up as Sarah and to send the texts and stuff.
All right. Because I was questioning that as well because I see that Kazuki have no stake. Like I don't see why he have to go to such extent to help Haruka. But now when we know that he's sick,
Yeah,
it
I mean,
make a bit more
it may be a
sense.
terminal illness. He may be dying because we do
Mm,
see at the end of the episode, Enta is walking him back to the hospital.
right, right.
Yeah,
Yep. So yeah, I think all these characters have something to do with their siblings. So Kazuki and Haruka, Toy and his older brother and enter a little bit with the older sisters.
Right.
Do you think it's gonna be the team? Because for now, I just think that was randomly
Well,
put.
I mean, if I know anything about Ikuhara, it's that he is obsessed with sibling relationships.
Right.
So yeah, that'll continue to be a factor. I would even predict that Enta's relationship with his sister will become more relevant, and more layered, more complex.
Hmm.
But I mean, it might have been interesting if in this episode he has to try to save her. He's kind of just doing his own thing, and the show is very fixated on his crush
Point of view.
on Kazuki.
Yep.
But it might have been interesting if he had to save his sister because she's being targeted by this guy who keeps committing marriage fraud.
Yep.
And when she eventually gets kidnapped, when all the women are flying in the sky, he would have to try to save her. But because
Yep.
of like the Ikuhara formula of like repeating the same, like
Musical sequence.
yeah. We don't really get an opportunity for Enta to deviate from that and be like, oh, there's my sister, I gotta go get her, because they have to do the same thing every time. They have to extract the Shirikodama, which then creates that like the tube of water that they surf through, and then there's the desire leak, and the boys see each other's memories. So,
Oh,
I mean,
so
it
I
was
think
it was all right.
yep. So I think Toy already knows about all this, but Kazuki being a just to understand the feeling that Enter has for him. Huh.
Well, that's the thing about this episode, is that we don't actually see Enta's reaction, because the
Enter?
reaction that that we don't see Kazuki's reaction,
That's right.
because the reactions that the reaction that Enta imagines is actually just him talking to Keppi and kissing Keppi and then vomiting. So we don't know, at least based on my first viewing of the episode, we don't know how Kazuki took it, or even that he saw what Enta was trying to hide.
That's right.
We know that Toy saw it, because we get a reaction from him in the middle of the memory leak.
Yep.
I mean, I would assume that Kazuki saw it as well, because the three boys are all, even from the way that they're surfing through that little tube of water, they all seem to be synchronized. So that should probably represent that they're all viewing the same memories. But I don't know. I was kind of disappointed by the way that the show swept it under the rug. It was all a dream. He was talking to Keppi the whole time. And at the very end, in the post-credit scene with Haruka, he Enta vows to give up on him. But his mind is probably changed by the fact that Haruka had held on to that little soccer wristband or ankle bracelet. I can't remember the Japanese term for it.
Yep. The bracelets. I don't know the Japanese term either.
Yeah, it had a weird like C with a little squiggle under it, which I'm too American to know what it's called, because we don't have that in our alphabet. But it looks cool.
Yep. It would be a grave mistake if the show glossed over Kazuki's reaction towards Enta feeling.
Yeah, but it
Which
kind of did
I
that in
hope
this
that is
episode.
yeah, that's right. So I hope that the next episode they're gonna follow up on that, because otherwise I would feel a bit cheated.
Yeah, same.
Yes. So hopefully though they're gonna do that next week, or they're gonna address that soon.
Yeah, I mean, ordinarily I would say it's too quick, but we do only have 11 episodes, and the show was pretty fast to acknowledge Enta's feelings as well. Like, we see the little teaser at the end of the second episode with the kiss on the steps by the beach, and you're like,
Yep.
oh, okay, so we're just getting a little bone thrown to us. We know about Enta's crush now, and then in the very next episode, like a full blown admission of love.
I think that worked for this week though, because like right at the first moment of this episode we start with that kiss, and then the whole thing happened afterwards have to do with Kiss and Kishu fish, and the guy's name Kishu.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like it's the introduction for this week thing, which is pretty good.
Right. That's what makes me think that they might address it. They might address Kazuki's reaction in the next episode because they were so quick to do it in this one as well.
Right.
Yeah. They
Hopefully.
they might just be thinking like, we don't have any time to waste. Let's go.
Yep. All right. I still pretty have high hope for Surrounded by. I still think that the first 3 episodes are one of the best thing I've seen in years. So
One of the best in years.
In
You know,
years, like-
I'm tempted to agree. I'm not as with it as you are, but I am optimistic.
all right, certainly better than Yuri Kuma Arashi.
I liked Yurikuma.
And I already love Yuri Kuma Arashi a lot.
Okay, so even higher hopes for this one.
Yep. That's right.
Well, it could all come crashing down, the way that
Well,
Yurikuma kind of did.
Hopefully not. Like I don't think it reached the level of Penguin Drum, but
Well, we could get there maybe.
yep, just 11 episodes. I don't know, man.
I mean, Penguin Drum had plenty of fat.
Yeah, I like it because of the messiness of it.
Okay. Yeah. I think that's a good reason to admire the show. It is certainly like jam packed full of like visual creativity and just a hodgepodge of ideas, all,
Yep,
all
that's
thrown
right.
together. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Are we good to go on to Future Boy Conan?
All right, let's go. Let's get to Future Boy Conan. Episode 5 to 8.
Right. Damn, I'm scrolling through. I took a lot of notes here, but a lot of them probably say the same thing. Conan gets
Alright.
captured, and then he breaks out. Lana gets captured, and then she gets rescued.
That's right. That's she like the how to say she like
Damsel
the
in
very
distress.
the very definition of damsel in distress.
Yeah, the
She
3Ds.
she just keep being captured, and Conan just keep following her in order to release her.
Yeah, it did get a little tiresome for me by the end. But I do, at the very end, like at the end of episode 8, they're crossing the desert, so we've clearly moved into different territory because she can tell telepathically that her grandpa is across the desert, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So assuming that they make it and they aren't captured halfway there, we will finally get into like new, like a new structure
Territory.
for the series. Yes.
I would love to see his partner Chimsy more involved. He's not that directly involved to all of these. Instead, we have like Dice, we have Dice who save him, who save Lana,
Well,
abandoned Conan.
save is a strong word, perhaps. He kidnaps her.
All right.
He just takes her from one prison to another.
Yep. And he even worse, like he doesn't treat her very well at all.
Yeah, I think he means to, but then when she doesn't do exactly what he wants, he doesn't have. He can't really handle that. Did you notice like the weird tone of that scene where he like when he brings her into the captain's quarters so that he can share the meal with her, he's humming "Here Comes the Bride."
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and he keeps making reference to the fact that like you and I both have plenty of years left, and let's go to High Harbor and be together. It's vaguely predatory. Some of the stuff that he's saying. I mean, this was made many years ago, and maybe the idea of an older man and a younger girl
Yep.
being together
Well,
was not so objectionable.
offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I do think like, and he keeps saying that like Jimsy does it as well, but he's like, she's a great girl, Damn you, Conan, for hogging all Lana's affections to yourself. You know, kind of strange.
All right. I still admire the animation. I think they have many moments. They have very dynamic animation, especially like the set piece where Conan saved Lana.
Which
Like
time?
the first. Oh my god! It's not the first one. It's the one where Lana was stranded in the tower, and he had to
Yes.
go all the way up to the tower, meet her, and just save her. I was thinking of like jumping off the big tower,
Yeah.
which he did.
Yes.
He actually did.
Have you seen Castle of Cagliostro?
No, I
The
haven't.
Lupin movie? Okay.
Directed by him as well.
Yeah, and it came out 1 year after this series or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a similar scene in Cagliostro
All
where a
right.
character has to go into a tower and save a girl.
Hmm.
It also reminded me. I mean, you may have played the Zelda games because like you're Super Mario. Have you played any Zelda
All
games?
right. I played Super Mario.
Yeah, but have you played any Zelda games?
I think I did like long time ago. Yes.
Okay, because one of them, the Wind Waker, has almost an identical um, like mission in it where you have to like invade a fortress which is shining down light beams everywhere which you have to avoid,
Yep.
and the character loses his main weapon, which Conan does. He loses his spear, Link loses his sword, and
All right.
he has to walk along the walls exactly the way that Conan does in order to save a young girl. It's identical.
All, all right. I think that this is one of the staple story when it was in the 70s or 80s.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, like young boy goes on adventure and has to save girl from evil group.
Yep. Now that I'm thinking about that, there is a lot of repetition in these 4 episodes that we watch.
Oh yeah, I would say that's the most notable thing about these 4 episodes is how often they repeat themselves.
I still find the show endearing and entertaining.
Yeah,
But
I would mostly agree, but I do think that by the end of these four, I was like, oh man, we'd better start to
move
tread some
on.
new ground here.
All right. How do you think about the big plot? The plot where they want Lepka in particular wanted Dr. Prag Liao uh, to what exactly that he wanted the man to do.
He wants the secret of solar energy, and
Oh yeah, solar energy.
Lana speculates, and so does Dice, I think, by the end of these episodes, that he wants to power all the machines, like the war machines, the gigantic planes, and the tanks that we see in the desert.
Yep.
He wants to power all those again so that he can, take over the
Uh,
world or something along those lines.
yep. Being a yeah the man who ruled the world.
Yeah, and
The
I mean,
mon-
at first we were led to believe that it was like, to save his people because they have a limited amount of energy and they have to create bread out of plastic.
Wow. Yes.
Do you remember that?
That that's actually a pretty nice idea.
Yeah, why haven't we figured that out yet?
Yeah.
That
Well.
would literally save the world, with
Yeah.
the millions of people, starving and dying of hunger. Um,
Yep.
if we could take all of our plastic garbage and turn it into bread. I mean, although it wouldn't really, because like if you notice all the townspeople or citizens of Industria, like their skin is very yellow. It appears jaundiced, and they kind of move like
Oh.
zombies. Do you remember this when they're all trying to
Yep. Yeah. Yep.
capture Conan? So,
Mm-hmm.
I think we're meant to infer that like the bread that they're eating or the resources that they're getting, they're all artificial. They're manufactured and they're not healthy. They're not fit for human consumption. And this society is actually just hanging on by a thread.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Um.
yeah. How terrible for
Speaker
them.
of the Yep. Speaker of the world building. I still think that it's resembling a lot of Nadia, and I think Nadia have a better world building than this one for now.
I don't
It
know. I mean, in
uh,
Nadia, Atlantis is like destroyed, but in Future Boy Conan, we
y-
get a chance to see Industria as it exists, as it continues to function, even if it is, you know, on the
mm,
verge of extinction. We do get to see how it operates. We didn't get to see that in Nadia really. I mean, I guess we did have that factory scene in Nadia, or it was like a mining operation or something where they go through all those tunnels and on the conveyor belts. Something similar
yep,
happens here in this one.
um, apart from that, though, I think the story is pretty light.
Yeah.
It's have a lot of chase, so like cat and mouse chase. But yeah, I still think that the whole point is that Conan is amazing. He have like supernatural strength. He he can escape whatever he like everything
Yeah.
from everything.
Even if the scene takes like 5 minutes. Like the one where he's
Yeah.
underwater and the explosion has somehow wrapped a piece of metal around his arm so that he can't get out.
Yep.
I don't know how that would physically happen, but
And I still don't know how he escaped from that. Like what did he do differently?
well, the thing that was running through my mind was that, Maunsley says, "Oh, I can't just let him go free. I have to eliminate him." So she snaps the bracelets together when he's in the water. But if she had actually wanted to kill him, she would have done the thing where she snaps all four together, which she
Yep,
did
yep, yep, yep,
earlier.
yep.
Instead she just
I
puts his hands and his legs together.
I thought she would do the same.
Well, if she had, there would be no more series. Conan would be dead, and millions of
No,
Japanese
no.
children would be scarred.
They will think another way for Conan to escape.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Oh
I
my
think
god.
I think you can rationalize the fact that she only connected his arms and legs as
Mhm.
her interest in his like having him as a physical specimen, because she is really interested in his strength. She keeps making
Yep.
comments about it.
Yep.
So like, subconsciously she probably doesn't want him to die. She is still looking for him at the end of episode 8.
Like at first I thought that she will be the characters who turn into the good guy. Who like
I think she still will.
all right. Because now I think she's more dangerous than Lepka. Like Lepka is ambitious, but she understands more about Conan, and she's just a kind of the person who think more about
Yeah.
everything surrounding her.
Yeah, Lepka is reckless.
Yep.
Like the way that he commanded his the guy who was driving the boat to just like go at full speed through the fog even though they couldn't see where the hell they were going.
Yep.
And he doesn't learn anything from those mistakes. And he's being contrasted against the old men, like the Industrian Council,
Yep.
because they operate the nuclear reactor in that really futuristic looking it's kind of like a tower, almost like a cylinder or a pillar, where they're all in different levels and they have those fancy chairs.
Right. Right.
It reminded me of a lot of like anime that I've seen that came out much later.
Um, the Chad Robo,
Um,
the design, the character design.
oh no, I'm speaking specifically about that setting where the guys are in those. Oh well, yeah,
Oh,
kind of,
oh yeah.
kind of.
Make in Abyss.
Made in Abyss. Well, that's a
You
much
did.
bigger thing, right?
All right.
The
Yeah.
huge chasm, whatever. I'm
Right.
thinking of like Evangelion and stuff. I mean, I always think of
Uh,
Evangelion. Everything reminds me of Eva. I'm just
even
crazy.
even all right. Even Flip Flapper or like the Kill Girl doing Kill Thing show.
No, actually, Flip Floppers does remind me highly of Evangelion.
Is it?
Yes,
All right.
for real. Yeah. The like
Well,
the fact that there's an organization that's like pulling all the strings in the background, and
all right. So how come you didn't like Flip Flappers?
just because it reminds me of it doesn't mean I'll automatically Love it.
Like it.
I see Ava's DNA in everything, but there's the more older anime I watch, the more I'll realize, I'm sure, that Ava borrowed dozens of design elements and even plot elements. I'm sure it took a lot of stuff from what came before.
Yep. There's one show from 2003, 2002 from Bones.
Razifan.
TV. Oh yeah, that show. Um, do they like have a lot of similarity to Evangelions?
That's what people say.
Sorry.
And yeah, I think they do, but I haven't seen all of Razifan. I only got through like 4 or 5 episodes before I lost my patience with it.
Right.
It's very typical early Bones, where everything moves very slowly, and also pretty much nothing is explained or spelled out. I'm kind of a fan of that idea of just like moving through your sci-fi story at a reasonable pace and letting the main character kind of like struggle to understand what's happening to him. I like that idea, but I mean, you have to give the audience something. You have to toss them a bone every once in a while. And Razifan was just like, nope, you know nothing. You don't know what is going on. Have fun.
All right. I think a lot of shows know that as well. Ego proxies, for example.
Yeah. But I mean, Ergo Proxy, at least in its very early episodes, was successful at creating, like a kind of a claustrophobic feel in the biodome that they were living in. And then when you finally broke out, it was like, even though it was a trash heap out there, it still felt like a breath of fresh air because it had so effectively constructed that dome that the characters were living in with like an authoritarian government. Whereas Razifan is just like, you pilot this robot, do it now. How does it work? You don't know. We don't know. Why does it sing all the time? It just for reasons. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Give it a try someday. See if you can figure it out, because I couldn't do it.
All right. I think I watched the first episode of that.
Oh, really?
Didn't think much about that.
Ah, okay. You didn't like the singing robot?
Mecha is not my jam.
Right. I mean, it makes up a lot of... Wait, why are we talking about this?
Because I think we run out of things to say about Future Boy Conan.
Oh, I have lots of notes here. I can think of something.
All right, sorry. Go on.
Okay, here I'll just run through a few notes, I guess. Do you want to talk about anything else more broadly?
All right. Yeah, we can talk about some of your notes. So just bring them up.
All right. One of the things I really liked about episode 5 at the start, when they see Industria as they're sailing to it, is the fact that the show cut all the music. It was like it was totally silent as they approach Industria, to emphasize like that it was unwelcoming, that it was like artificial, and they were sailing through those like ruined structures, the ruined buildings.
Yep.
Out in the middle of the ocean. I really love when older anime use like the multi cell backgrounds, and they slide them at different speeds.
Yep.
I always love that technique, and when it's done on cell, you can like feel the craftsmanship that went into it, and it just I think for a lot of newer anime fans, like that feels wrong, and it feels like too mechanical and too obvious. But I really like it.
Yep.
So it created a really like unwelcoming atmosphere as they were going into Industria, which I thought was good.
Yep. I think this show benefit from a really good directing, and it come to no surprise that the director is the legend himself.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty well directed too, because it's managed to hold my attention despite its simple structure and its repetitiveness.
Right.
But how exactly it's well directed, like in ordinary scenes, I couldn't tell you. Just I think an appropriate amount of time is given to each action. The editing probably is good as well. And knowing Miyazaki's work ethic and like the fact that he's a control freak, he probably had a hand in that too.
Yep. Yep. I would say same.
All right, what else? Blah 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 blah. Oh, in episode, even though there's like a ton of, jail scenes where characters are put in cells and then they have to break out and stuff. I did really like the one in episode 6 where Dice dresses up. He's in the work suit.
Yep.
And he has on the red wig and the gigantic, shirt, whatever it's supposed to be. It's like a bag, almost, that he's wearing. And he pretends to be some sort of weird like science experiment. Yeah, like a Frankenstein type of thing.
Yep.
And for some reason that gets them through. So maybe we're supposed to infer that Lepka is experimenting with like doing human experiments. I don't know.
Yep. I think that was really weird, but that was really charming as well at the same time.
That's the main my main takeaway from it is that it was just like kind of cute. He goes in there and he pretends to be some sort of weird monster human mashup, and for some reason that gets them in. Also, Lana and Conan develop a sort of telepathic communication, like a link between them.
Yep.
The same kind that she has with her grandfather.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
So I guess in this universe, if you love somebody, you can hear their thoughts.
Yep, that's what I was about to say. But that doesn't feel, like it doesn't feel really weird. In the context that they do that in the 70s, where like this kind of thing tend to happen.
Right. Yeah. I mean, maybe you can make more allowances for plot contrivance with an older series, but I mean, I think there's at least like a kind of a fuzzy, unclear reason for it, and that's Conan he's supposed to be like very close to the earth, kind of. Like he's very in tune with the earth. Perhaps that's where his strength comes from, because he was raised, on this new earth.
Yep.
In the wake of the gigantic war that humanity plunged themselves into. And so the same is probably true for Lana. Like that's the reason that she can communicate with birds, and that might be the reason for her telepathy as well. Is that she's just like one with the earth, let's say. And if everything and everyone is connected, if the show is going to eventually go that route, then being able to speak with people through your mind, that might just be an extension of that.
Yep.
So at least there's some sort of theme there that you can reach for if you need an explanation, but one isn't strictly necessary. Even if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't feel wrong, I don't think.
Yep. So I think the next 4 episodes, we're gonna get the introduction of Dr. Project Layout, and I think we will learn more about this world building and learn more about what exactly happened. I think a few years ago, or maybe it's just a setting. I'm not really sure, but for sure that we will know more about the world.
Yeah, well, if they do meet her grandfather, then we'll certainly learn more about the war. Because if you think about it, like Conan's grandpa, when he was about to die, he pretty much laid out his entire backstory to Conan as he was on his deathbed. So, Bryak Lau, whatever his name is, if we meet him, he'll probably do the same. And we do need, in order to properly, make Lepka into the villain for wanting to get these war machines back up and running with solar energy, then the horror of the war needs to be like kind of beat into us as the audience. So if Lau is old, if he's Lana's grandfather, then he's old enough to have lived through it, and he'll probably explain in more detail, just how terrible it was.
But do you think that the show gonna get more serious, or do you think it will keep that adventure on age?
I mean, I don't think it's gonna go full Nadia. with characters
Yep.
who are like trying to commit suicide and going up into space, and there being like really intense battles between the two different
Yep.
societies. I think it's going to maintain its fun tone, but
Yep.
the show is going to get more serious. Like the general story is going to get a little more serious because Lepka will probably inch closer and closer to his goal of getting solar energy, which would plunge the world back into war. So that threat is always looming, and I assume that it's going to creep closer and closer. But
Yep.
I don't think that Conan is, going to try to jump from a 100-meter tall pillar to his death. I
To-
mean, he can't die. He would just land on his feet.
Yeah, well, yes, that's right. He managed to survive like all kind of
Yeah,
animals, or shark, everything.
yeah.
I think he will survive.
He should have drowned as well.
He indestructible.
Yes. Like you said, I mean, the point of the show kind of is that Conan is really cool. So it's just we just get to watch him like run around and be awesome.
All right.
Nothing wrong with that. He's a cool
Yep,
guy.
I don't mind that. All right. Do you have any closing thought, or do you have anything else to say about Future Boy Conan?
Not anything more about Conan, I guess. We can wrap this up, but we should let the listeners know what's going to be
Right.
happening for the next month.
All right. For the next month, we're gonna take an entire month off
No.
because I'm gonna be going away for holidays. So I be back. We will be back in June, and we will cover like just up to that, right?
Yeah, we might take a break from Conan the first week of June just so that we can,
Yep.
spend
Catch
as much
up.
time as possible doing the spring catch up.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll get back to it eventually.
Yeah, yeah. So enjoy a month break. Enjoy the current season. Like I said, the current season is one of my favorite seasons since we doing the postcat thing. So hopefully you enjoy this season, the four show that we cover, right?
You better.
And and yep, we will see you back in June.
Everybody have a great month. We'll see you then.
All right, see you soon.
Bye.